Hello, and welcome to another soul-nourishing episode of Embodying the Divine, living as the eternal presence in everyday life. I'm Vibha Sharma, spiritual and executive life and leadership coach at cosmicways.com, and today I want to invite you into a quiet realization that can radically shift your experience of life, from stress to serenity, from effort to grace. Let's take a breath together, a full deep inhale, and let it go. As Goldsmith so beautifully said, come to the realization that the most trifling acts of your day, such as waking up in the morning or sleeping at night, cannot be performed without an activity of the invisible spirit, and observe what happens when you begin to acknowledge Him in all your ways. Today's episode is about living in awareness of that invisible spirit, not just during meditation or prayer, but in the smallest details of your daily life. The most ordinary moments are sacred. Think about this. You don't wake up because of your alarm clock. You wake up because something within you rises first. You don't fall asleep because you close your eyes. You sleep because a deeper rhythm, an invisible peace, carries you inward. This invisible activity is spirit, is life itself. But we often forget. We rush through our days, caught in doing. And when we forget God, we live as though we are separate, left to manage everything on our own. But what happens when we remember? When we pause, even in the midst of a routine task, and say silently, "Thank you, Spirit. You are here. You are the activity of my being." Acknowledging God in all your ways. Proverbs says, "In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths." Joel reminds us that this doesn't only apply to life-changing moments. It applies to brushing your teeth, making coffee, sending an email, tucking your child into bed. It is in those small moments that you begin to cultivate a consciousness of abundance, peace, and purpose. Because where God is acknowledged, grace begins to operate. What happens when you cook and say, "God is the life of this food"? When you drive and say, "God is the safety of this moment"? When you work and silently affirm, "God is the intelligence acting through me"? You begin to live in partnership with the divine, no longer reacting to life, you're responding from your center. A daily practice. Here's a simple practice you can begin today. 1. Choose 3 moments of your day as ordinary as possible. Examples: turning on the light, washing your hands, checking your phone. 2. At each of those moments, pause for 3 seconds and silently say, "This moment is filled with God." Acknowledge the invisible spirit within it. 3. Then continue with what you are doing, but notice how your energy shifts. You'll feel less rushed, less fragmented, more anchored in peace. This isn't about adding a ritual to your day. It's about recognizing what's already true, that the infinite is already moving through your life, living an abundant, peaceful, purposeful life. You don't have to manifest peace. You don't have to attract abundance. You only need to realize that it's already here, because Spirit is already here. When you live in this kind of ongoing acknowledgement, you make decisions from calm inner guidance, experience more meaningful connections, feel supported without needing to control everything, find your purpose unfolding naturally without striving. Joel called this living in the rhythm of God. It's not a technique, it's a relationship, a realization, a way of being. Before we close, take a moment right now to acknowledge the invisible spirit in your breath, in your listening, in this very moment. Say silently with me, "Thank you, Spirit, for being the life of my life." Take this into your day. into your evening, into your sleep. Watch what happens when you begin to see the divine in the smallest acts. You'll begin to live not just more peacefully, but more purposefully and powerfully. Thank you for joining me today. If this episode spoke to your heart, share it with a friend. And if you'd like more tools for spiritual, mindful leadership and inner transformation, visit me at cosmicways.com. Until next time, stay in the presence and let grace lead the way.